Never knew anyone who did drugs. Parents never talked about it. But somehow I just got the idea in my head that if I pretended that I had done drugs before, people would like me. And so I pretended I'd smoked weed before and made some plans to get high with these guys. And you know, it's really funny when I look back on it because I remember writing a journal entry in class actually the weekend before we were planning on getting high, and I was writing in the journal, I'm about to do something that I think could be very bad. So I kind of already had this premonition that like this was a turn down the wrong path. Little did I know where it would actually take me. You know, I smoked some weed that weekend. I was 14 and boom, that was it. I'm doing this every day for the rest of my life. That was my reaction because I didn't have to feel the way that I felt. Once I realized that I could actually change that, I knew I could get through life. I quickly came to the conclusion that if weed was good, other drugs must be good too, because everybody said, you know, don't smoke weed. Well, they obviously have no idea what they're talking about. So from that point on, I became obsessed with getting high. I set out to do every drug I could possibly do. I came home and they basically tricked me into going to rehab. And so I completed a 60-day rehab. I was introduced to AA, NA, and just the whole sober network that existed that I never knew existed before, to which I was resistant to at first. But after a few hours, I was like, okay, you know what? This is my shot. This is my opportunity. That was at age 20. I thought I was just gonna have to live addicted to drugs my whole life. I didn't even know that there was an option. And when I learned that there was a way for me to stop, I was so relieved. It was just like, oh my God, the whole time I could have just reached out and met some people who have gone through what I've gone through, because I didn't think that anybody had gone through what I was going through. I didn't think anybody was as fucked up as me. I didn't think anybody got the relief that I got from drugs. And I learned that wasn't the case. There's many, many, many of us, and a lot of them I don't think realize it to this day, even with as prevalent as treatment is. I get out of rehab and have a couple quick relapses, but I end up getting really plugged into the sober community, the AA community, and was able to put together a 4-year period of sobriety. Best 4 years of my life. Ended up going back to school, graduated. I have a degree in neuroscience from that time. Life without drugs became normal for a while until my life got busy and I stopped doing the things that I did initially to help myself get sober and stay sober. A big part of that was just kind of towards the end feeling like I was just sleepwalking through life, not really feeling like I had purpose. I was working a job that I made a lot of money at, but I didn't like. At this job, which was at a really cool young office, younger demographic office, they had a bar. And in my mind, I'm a drug addict. I never had a legal drink in my life. I always kind of in the back of my mind thought that I could drink alcohol. When I made the decision that I was going to drink eventually, it's like my brain just knew that it was on. And before I even drank, I ended up doing heroin for the first time. Stopped that for a while, then just started partying like it was nobody's business. Ecstasy, coke, drinking, weed, pills, acid, everything. I had a job, I had money, I had friends, and it worked. It worked for a little while until I started getting really depressed. I had my best friend at the time. His name was Brian. He enjoyed doing heroin, and I had the hookup, and so I would get it, and we'd do it together. And I could take it or leave it at the time. After about a month, I realized we had done it every day. Now I have to do it every day. It just wasn't an option anymore because I would go through withdrawals. I was able to stop after like a month, and then I experiences and new ideas and new ways of thinking, and it's been very, very, very freeing. I don't think about getting high almost any day right now. Now that could come back if I don't continue to do these things. To wake up and to go grab a cup of coffee instead of put a needle in my arm, it just didn't seem possible. But it is. It can be for anybody.